The other morning at 2 a.m., my daughter was screaming in my face, 6 months old, teething, she's screaming. And I remembered 7 words that helped me get through that will help everybody as a CEO, business owner, busy parent, get through life and achieve their big goals and dreams. My name is Craig Ballantyne, and today you're going to get 7 lessons that I've learned as a parent that will help you as a CEO or obviously a parent, because they have helped me. They helped me in my business, but they also helped me in my relationship with my wife, raising our 2 daughters and soon to be our 3rd kiddo, who will be a boy. So we have a boy coming into our family. So these 7 lessons from being a parent for 2 years now have really guided me. And when I share them with other parents, it's been really helpful to them. So the first lesson I got from a friend named Ed O'Keefe. Ed O'Keefe comes from a big Catholic family, and Ed himself has 7 kids. He had 7 kids, and I think he has teenagers now. I mean, I was blown away. Like, how can you be an entrepreneur with 7 kids? And one of his best lessons that he shared with me is he said, Craig, you can be tired and your wife can be tired, but you can't be tired at the same time. You can be tired, your wife can be tired, but you can't be tired at the same time. And the first time we were both tired, my wife and I was like, now I get it. Because when you're tired, what happens? Well, you're tired, your willpower, your discipline, your motivation, your ability to maintain emotional regulation is way down, right? And so that's when people snap at one another. If you're tired, you make mistakes. And so if both parents are tired, trying to deal with kids at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, that's when bad things happen. So my wife and I then set up our schedules so that she gets the sleep that she needs, and because she needs to sleep longer, and I need to go to sleep early. I need to sleep from about 7:30 at night. Yeah, we go to bed really early till about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And if I can sleep really well before midnight, I can get up really early in the morning and deal with the kids. She can stay up a little bit longer and deal with the kids while I sleep, and then she needs to get up later, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So the ideal is what we do is we get the kids to bed, they sleep well. If one of them gets up in the middle of the night, I deal with it. And then, I pray to God that, they're going to be asleep from 4 to 6 while I go and do my work. So that was pretty incredible. And figuring out that when something is a one-person job, the other person needs to go to sleep and the person doing the job needs to be okay with that, because there's no point in having 2 parents up in the middle of the night doing a one-person job and both getting tired. Now, in your business, what that means is you need to make sure that you don't have too many people on a project, because that just diffuses the energy away. It stops you from moving ahead. And you need to make sure that you understand your schedule for maximum energy, because you can carry that through to the day and just see, oh, here's where I need to be on my game. And therefore, I need to schedule the rest of my day around performing at the highest level. Also, prioritize naps as much as you can, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes, sitting in your chair, just having a nap. You got to do those things when you're a parent so that you can get through some of those busy nights. The second thing you need to do is you need to ask for help. So when you have kids, young kids, you have to recruit your family as much as you possibly can. Now, we live in Mexico, a long way away from our family. We're very fortunate that my wife's mother, so my mother-in-law, is a flight attendant, and she will once a month work a flight to come down here, spend a little bit of time with us because she gets the overnight and then has to go back the next day. So we get a little bit of visit from family, but not too much. So we had to hire help. And even if you're on a strict budget, you have to sacrifice in other areas to be able to hire some help if you don't have the family help. I encourage all dads, you must get your wife a nanny or a babysitter for a couple hours during 1 day per week and 1 overnight, especially when you have a baby, because that lack of sleep just wears you down. And so you have to do whatever you need to do. You have to give up your hobbies. You have to sell something sitting in the garage that's valuable that you're not using. Please do whatever you can and ask for help, hire help to give everybody their sanity, because it's that lack of sleep that leads to the biggest issues in parenting. So that's what we do. And so invest in yourself, buy back your wife's time, buy back your wife's sleep for sanity. In your business, you can't be doing everything. You have to automate, delegate, and eliminate. You have to go and hire people on Upwork or Fiverr or whatever it is to be able to do the little jobs, the $10 an hour tasks, so that you can do the big stuff that moves you ahead. If you're going to hold on to everything, if you and your wife are going to hold on to every parenting duty, listen, nobody's giving out any medals for the fact that you did all the bedtimes, that you did all the feedings. There's no medals for that. And your child's not going to remember that when they're grown up. And it's going to be okay if somebody else fed them. So stop holding on to that. Don't put yourself through unnecessary pain. Get a little bit of help in your business and in your parenting. Number 3, moms are just absolutely superhuman. There is nothing that a man goes through that compares to being pregnant. And I understand, obviously, like if you're going through a serious illness or if you're a Navy SEAL, those are things that, a pregnant mom probably won't understand. But 9 months of pregnancy, 9 months of hormonal changes, 9 months of carrying around a baby, feeling a baby inside of you, I'll never understand what that's like. And it's just absolutely amazing. God bless all moms. There is nothing like it. Now, in the business world, there's nothing like being the owner of a company. You can have really great employees, you can have really great team members, you can have really people who are dedicated to your business, but if it's your money on the line, it's your reputation on the line, it's your relationship with the banks on the line, you're the person who's at risk of going bankrupt if the business struggles. Nobody else in the business is on the hook for stuff that you're on the hook for. You have to understand that no one will understand that. Just like I will never fully understand what it's like to be pregnant. I will never fully understand what it's like to have a baby moving around inside your belly. Never be able to understand that. Never be able to understand what it's like to have a baby sitting on your platter, inside of you. On top of me, yes, but inside of me, no. And so the translation here is you can never expect the team members to understand you as a CEO. And therefore, you can't get upset when, somebody doesn't perform at a level that a CEO would perform at, because they're the owner of a business. They don't own the business. They will not give the same effort and attention. They will not look at the money in the business the same way. And you have to understand that, because if you expect them to, that's where there's going to be resentment on both sides. So you have to understand that as the business owner, you're totally different than the team members when it comes to understanding business. The 4th lesson that I learned is that the 3 P's solve all problems. And that's planning, preparation, and patience. Now, I was really good at planning and preparation before I had kids. I wrote books on it. Patience, not so much. In fact, 20 plus years ago, I used to be in the Big Brothers program. And when you do the Big Brothers application, you have to get a couple of people to do some questionnaires on you, basically be your references. And my mom was one of them. And one of the questions is like, what's the biggest fault of the individual? Or, what's the biggest weakness? And my mom said, you know what I wrote down for the answer to that question? I'm like, no, I have no idea. She goes, you're too impatient. And I didn't really think of it at the time. I always just operated really, really fast. And I am an impatient person, which is good in some things. But when you're dealing with kiddos, it's tough. It's not very helpful when you have a kid who's crying at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's going to take 30 minutes to get them to sleep. You want them to fall asleep right now, but the baby will eventually fall asleep. You just have to be very patient. And so being patient was key. And planning and preparing and communicating with your spouse at a level 10, you have to plan and prepare so thoroughly, just overkill. That is going to be so helpful, because if you think my wife is probably going to take care of the kid at 2 o'clock, I can schedule a call, but you don't communicate that, eventually it's going to be a miscommunication and there's going to be stress. So planning and preparation, and improve your patience daily. Number 5, the 7 words that I mentioned at the start. Remember the days you prayed for this. Remember the days you prayed for this. There were days when I was a single guy, I prayed to be married. I prayed to have kids. And so when you have the opportunity, the gift of having kids, you can't get upset that they're crying at 3 o'clock in the morning, because you prayed for this. You prayed for kids. You knew that they cried in the middle of the night. It's not like, you're not naive or ignorant, or, you didn't figure that out. You've heard all the stories. And so you have to remember that. And you have to be grateful for the fact that there's a child screaming in your face, that your child is screaming in their face because they want you to help them, and that you are the only person that can get them through this. Now, on the business side, when you get a refund or you get a team member that quits, you need to remember that there were days that you prayed for your business to be successful, to get customers. And so yes, a customer is upset, or maybe a customer wants more than you promised them, or whatever it was. There's going to be days where there's some of those situations, but you have to remember, I prayed to have customers. I prayed to be able to have a business that was so successful I could hire people. I prayed for these days. And so I should be grateful for the problems that come along with the gifts that I prayed for. I think that's very important. And so remember the days you prayed for this is my middle of the night mantra when, I'm sleeping and the kids get up. or I'm working and I'm in the middle of 250 words into my book writing for the day, and then I hear our daughter making noise upstairs, and I don't want my wife to get up. I gotta make the bottle and run upstairs as quick as possible and get the baby before my wife gets up, because I want her to sleep so that she'll let me sleep at night. That's just the way it goes. And so you have to remember the days that you prayed for this. Number 6, behaviors are caught, not taught. This is a good quote from my friends Eric and Amy Ledeen. They have 5 kids in their blended family, and Eric and Amy taught me that years ago. They said, listen, you can tell your kids what to do, but they will do what they see you doing. And so if I say something, Isabella, who now can hear and repeat, she's our little parrot right now, she'll say things back. Fortunately, I don't swear, so she's not catching any swear words. But if I say anything, she'll repeat it. And if I'm on my phone, she'll think that being on the phone in front of her or having a phone in her hand is normal, and she's going to repeat that behavior. So behaviors are caught, not taught. Whatever you want your kids to say and do, they're going to say and do what they see you do. If you say and do one thing and then you tell them to do something else, they're not going to do the something else. They're going to do what they see you do. You are their role model for them. And goes to your business. It's the same. If you say be polite and courteous at all times with our customers, and then you're rude to a customer or you're rude to your team members, they're going to catch rudeness. They're not going to be taught polite and courteous and go and do that. So behaviors are caught, not taught. Finally, number 7, this is really recent. Michelle and I decided that the best thing for our kids is not to put their pictures on Instagram or social media. So the first year that we had Isabella, when you're a baby, you look like a baby, you don't speak, you don't walk, you don't run, you don't really have your own personality. You're a baby, not really a little human. And so we put some pictures of Isabella up with us, but now we realize, she has her own personality. She has her own intelligence, obviously. And I wouldn't take a photo of you and me and then put it up on Instagram without saying, hey, can we take a picture and put it up on Instagram? Right? Because I wouldn't want to put a picture, like maybe I didn't know you didn't like the shirt you were wearing, or maybe, your eyes aren't open very well in the picture, but I look good in the picture, so I'm going to post it. I wouldn't do that to you. And, you and I are friends. So why would I do that to my child? And we especially don't understand people who put embarrassing videos and pictures of their children online. I mean, if you think that's not going to come back and haunt you later on, like, for example, I went to high school with this girl who, she got married and she had kids, and she took a photo of her kid, and the kid, I guess, looked like a monkey in the photo. It's already horrible, right? It's already a horrible story. But what she did is she sent the photo into Ellen. Remember that TV show, Ellen DeGeneres? I guess they had like a contest of like you submit a photo, like funniest photo of the day, and she won. So now millions of people, including her family, her friends, all their relatives, all the kids' friends at school will now hear the story of how, hey, you look like a monkey. Like, you want to talk about setting your kid up for failure because you wanted to get some likes? That's horrible. So that's the same with Instagram and social media. People are putting all these pictures and videos of their kids up in bad and sometimes in embarrassing photos, sometimes just as a prop. And you know what? I made that mistake, not the embarrassing side, but I've had pictures of Isabella with my book and put them up. And it's like, kid's not a prop. Kid's a human. And so we decided that we're not going to do that anymore, because I wouldn't do that to you. So why would I do that to my kid? So that was the 7th lesson. And I think that's very important. It all comes down to the recognition. And, when you are trying to correct a team member, if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to correct a team member, if you're a leader and you're correcting somebody, you don't punish them in public. The old phrase is you praise in public and you correct in private. You praise in public. So it's the same with our kids. I'm only going to put stuff in public that shows them in a good way. I will recognize, if they did something great, I'm going to say, I'm really proud of Isabella for her effort. I'm not going to put a picture of, look at my kid, they fell down because they couldn't tie their shoes. And I got 100 likes, for embarrassing my kid. We're not going to do that. We're going to praise in public and we're going to correct in private, just like you should with your team members. So that's the 7th lesson that I've learned as a parent that you can use in your business or as a CEO or as a leader in your organization. Those are the 7 lessons. So 1, you can be tired, and your wife can be tired, but you can't be tired at the same time. 2, ask for help, hire the help, buy back your time. Number 3, moms are superhuman, and entrepreneurs, nobody's ever going to understand you. Number 4, planning, preparation, and patience solve all the problems. Number 5, remember the days you prayed for this. That'll get you through anything. And number 6, behaviors are caught, not taught. And number 7, praise in public, correct in private. So those are the parenting lessons that'll help you as a CEO. My name is Craig Valentine. I'm the host of Early to Rise Radio. I have 2 kids under 2 right now, soon to have 3 kids under 2.5. And so I think there's a few more parenting lessons in my future. As for now, what I want you to do is drop your number 1 parenting lesson down below so that I can become a better parent.